afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the introduction. And thank you for still being a good friend after 4 years. I mean, I know I'm quite complicated in being a good friend. The previous panel was quite interesting because, first of all, we spoke about bio-based products. So real C14 products, which is something we, of course, like, and which is a policy we are pushing in our company. And the second one was, as you mentioned, the topic related that you were thinking about legal support and drivers and so on. Of course, it is important to have a legal support and a legal framework. We cannot leave it to the brand owners, although they are really pushy, just to decide in which direction to go. We need as well, as producers of ingredients, building blocks, and polymers, we need some, let's say, legal framework in order to be assured in which direction we should work. This happened on the energy side, so there are some ratios in which you should use renewable energy. This happened on fuel side. It did not happen on the polymer side. So on the polymer side, we had Brussels deciding a little bit about packaging waste regulation, a little bit complicated stuff, which was not a real good driver. So we have, let's say, an environment which is quite complicated on the polymer side, but nevertheless, I would like to talk a little bit about these biopolymers and these building blocks. As I have just 10 minutes, just a very short introduction, then there will be just one slide which is relevant and important. So amongst all these slides, I will tell you which one is the relevant one. So these, just listen a little bit and follow. So we belong to an old chemical company, so old in Italy, which was Montezon Group. We grew up in a huge, large chemical group, which is not existing anymore now, but now we belong again to a large chemical group, which is Eni Versalis. Myself, I've been working 30 years. I started with my CEO, this company, so I know a little bit about this business, just a little bit. We are a medium-sized company, so we are roughly 600 people, but just working on bio-based and biodegradable polymers, so just concentrated on this. With roughly 25% of our personnel dedicated to R&D. So this just indicates when we always talk about cost, you know, higher cost and so on, there's a lot of R&D behind it. So this has to be paid. It's not only the raw materials, but the development you have to carry out in order to bring some products on the market. Well, this just shortly to give you an overview about we're an Italian-based company. We have different sites producing a variety of products. Might it be some azelaic or pelargonic acid in Sardinia, some C9s. We produce 1,3-BDO, 1,4-BDO. We produce polyesters. We do compounds. We have R&D and research centers, everything spread over in Italy. Let's say the main scope, or let's say the ideal driver of our company and the main pillars are, let's say, the one is to use, let's say, brownfield plants and to reindustrialize them, because we feel that we have also social responsibility to take care of people who have been working in certain chemical areas which are now disrupted and, let's say, just shut off. The second one is to work together with the farm industry. So the farmers industry, as they are providers of some of the raw materials we're using, we are integrated and working together with them. And the third one is not just producing polymers or producing intermediates, but to address solutions. So the first drivers at the beginning of our history, let's say, was how do we take care of, let's say, polymer waste when it is highly contaminated with food and difficult to recycle. So we said, okay, let's start and think about biodegradable polymers. So they're highly contaminated with food, just bring them into the stream of compostable waste and then treat them. And this was the origin of the Novamont, let's say, history. Today, we provide a variety of polymers for different applications, bio-based or biodegradable. And this is the slide where you have to be now watch it, because this is the one which describes everything, a little bit about the whole process of the product. So we have different technologies. We're starting from renewable resources. We start also from petrochemical resources, of course, because sometimes you have to compromise a little bit. But we use as well, let's say, not only, let's say, sugars or fatty acids and oils, vegetable oils, but we use as well waste streams. So we're dealing with waste streams coming from, let's say, waste management. And out of these, let's say, two streams, we develop different renewable raw materials, so a variety of building blocks. Amongst these building blocks, we have, let's say, different chemicals. These chemicals are then addressed to the production of polyesters. Out of these chemicals, we have certain streams which are not, let's say, our standard product. So we have, within our company, two streams. The one is the polymer stream, and the one is the chemical stream. And within this chemical stream, we have lately, now it's already 10 years, we have started producing 1,4-BDO together with the help of a friend of mine sitting there in the audience, which is now a consolidated business. So we are the largest European and the only one BDO 1,4-BDO producer, starting from glucose. It's a fermentation process, and downstream then you obtain 1,4-BDO. It is a drop-in, so it is chemically 1,4-BDO. Full stop. So whatever you're producing, and you're looking for BDO in order to either improve your carbon footprint, of course it depends on the way you communicate your product, or if you want just to increase the renewable content, here you have a product which is 100% bio-based and has a more favorable carbon footprint compared to a petro-based 1,4-BDO. Out of these streams and production, we have THF. THF is a side stream of our polyester production. So there we have bio-based THF and petro-based THF, depending on which BDO you're using in your polyester production. These are solvents which are used, so THF is partially used as solvent in the pharmaceutical industry. So again, here we have a drop-in, which is in terms of quality equivalent to a petro-based THF. Sorry. Then we have bio-THF. Bio-THF could be interesting for the production of elastomeric products, because there are companies looking for poly-THF and PTMEG, which would then be converted into elastomeric fibers. So here you would have a bio-based source, which would improve, let's say, the carbon footprint, so improve and make it better, the carbon footprint of your product. We're working as well on FDCA. We're working on other building blocks. I mean, it's a big variety of chemicals we're working around. And we have as well a stream of azelaic and pelargonic acid. Just to tell you that how we diversified our business. So starting from, let's say, polymers for thermoplastic transformation and thermoplastic industry, we went into cosmetics. We went into bioherbicides. As you know, pelargonium is a natural herbicide. We went into lubricants, starting from esters of the pelargonic acid and developing lubricants which have a very low impact in case of spillage and so on. So you know that this is one of the major issues. And we have as well our bio business, so the bio-traditional business, which is the polymeric business, where we have polymers dedicated to the transformation by film blowing, injection molding, thermoforming, and so on. But not to be generalized, so just to be used all over there in those areas where recycling of these products is difficult. So one of our big markets is, for instance, in the agro industry, producing mulch film. Mulch, you use it, then you harvest, and you till it into the soil, and you leave it there, and that's it. And so there you have a big advantage, instead of trying to recover a film, which is then highly contaminated with soil, which is very difficult to be recycled, and so on and so on. So these are, let's say, we have different technologies. We try, as I said before, to reindustrialize old sites, but you will have these in the printout, so don't worry about if I skip it very fast now. Important part, and as we said, is very relevant, or one of the important parts is, of course, not only the carbon footprint of your product, but for instance, if you look, you have to analyze and to evaluate all your suppliers. So in case of the BDO, for instance, all our feedstock and sugars we are sourcing are coming from Europe. So Italy, France, northern part, Germany, Poland, and so on. So it's all around, let's say, our side, because transport already has an impact. Secondly, you have to look that these products are certified in terms of soil protection, biodiversity, and everything else. So it's not just that you buy a renewable feedstock and then you make it nice because of certain carbon footprint. No, you have to validate all your suppliers. You have to see what how they're sourcing, how they're producing, where they're producing, all the conditions, and then you can start doing all the work in your plant and in your, let's say, environmental profile. And this is a little bit, let's say, how we proceed and how we work on the Bio-BDO side. We are a B Corp, so we are Benefit Corp. We have EcoVadis certification, so this is important for some of the downstream brand owners and customers. So we are doing carbon footprint and certifications, environmental certification according to ISO 14067. So this is where we get to the product, but we help as well our customers to evaluate and to, let's say, define numbers and values also on the processing of the product itself, and also end-of-life option, because we have quite a good knowledge in terms of end-of-life option when it comes to organic recycling or chemical or physical recycling. I try to be very fast because I have just 10 minutes, right? No, sometimes he's quite nasty with me. Still some couple of minutes I have them. Okay. Then the two products beside the polymers, where we are moving now and where we are a little bit more, let's say, expanding our portfolio is on the one for BDO and the bio-THF. We have two plants. So the one plant is the BDO plant, as I said before. It is a small plant, so it's not a big plant. So we just produce 30,000 tons of BDO. You have to consider that the worldwide production is 4.5 million tons. So we are very little, but very special, I have to say. It is a plant which was reconverted in 2012, and it's running since more than 10 years. So since 10 years, we have a product which is chemically equivalent to a petrol-based 1,4-BDO. We use it mainly captively for the production of our own polyesters, but it is also available for very specific applications out on the market for other polyurethanes or similar products. Then we have the THF plant. The THF plant is a part of the integration of our polyester plant, where we have specific distillation systems, where we're able to produce bio-THF and petro-THF. Final applications can be in the polyurethane systems, thermoplastic urethanes, in apparel, in shoes, in textiles, and in fibers. So these are the areas which we are targeting and looking at in these days. Another application where I will not go too deep into it, based on our BDO and our diacids, is that we are partnering, and we have partnered together with a company in Italy, which is called eCapsira. If you want, I can give you later on the details. This company is producing polyurethane dispersions based on our building blocks. So we supply certain parts, and they, let's say, uretanize, as I always say, the final products, making dispersions. So today, beside the polymer side we have available, we have as well a partner able to supply, let's say, dispersions for textiles, for paper, for any kind of coatings and application. Might it be in agro application, might it be also in other persistent applications. Because it is not only targeting, let's say, biodegradability of the product, but also the renewability of the product. So depending on what you're looking for in terms of dispersions, we are able to, let's say, supply these products. This again, just to summarize a little bit, so where we're working on is lubricants. Lubricants is extremely important, especially in those environments where you have spilling problems and where there might be, let's say, some risks. We are working in the phytosanitary bioproducts, as I said, for herbicides, non-systemic herbicides. So they just kill the leaves and not the roots. So this is for treatment before seeding, after harvesting, and so on. And we have applications in the area of cosmetics. As you know, ECA has limited applications in terms of dispersion of microparticles and microplastic and so on. So there we're able to offer some different solutions. This a little bit about the partnership. So it's not only us when we talk about biopolymers, but we work together with waste treatment companies. We're working together with local administration when you talk about waste streams. We talk directly with retail, with brand owners, extremely important associations, institutions, universities, and agriculture. So it's a whole system which helps then to bring, let's say, these results on the markets. And this is the end of my presentation, and thank you very much.